Picture this. You're holding your daughter's hand. She's 5 years old. She looks up at you with those innocent eyes and asks, "Papa, will there be flowers in our new home?" And you smile, you nod, you promise her yes, because a man you trust told you there would be. A man who looked you in the eyes and promised you paradise. 3 weeks later, you're watching her tiny body slip beneath the waves, screaming her name into a storm that doesn't care. The last thing you remember is her little hand reaching for yours as the ocean swallows her whole. That man lied to you. And 500 families lived with that lie for 500 years. Hit subscribe, because by the end of this, you'll understand why trust is the most expensive thing you'll ever give away. We laugh about it, don't we? Greenland's frozen. Iceland's green. It's quirky, it's fun. We make jokes at parties. But nobody talks about the mothers who drowned clutching their babies. Nobody mentions the fathers who watched their sons disappear into the sea. Nobody remembers the children who never got to see the green land they were promised. This isn't a fun fact. This is a tragedy dressed up as history. This is about Erik the Red. And before you think he's just another historical figure, understand something. Erik wasn't special, smarter than you. He wasn't braver. He was just more desperate. And desperate men do terrible, brilliant things. Year 982, Iceland. Close your eyes and imagine the coldest winter you've ever experienced. Now multiply that by 10. Now imagine that's your entire life, every single day. Volcanic ash in your lungs. Frozen ground that won't grow crops. Neighbors so desperate they'll kill you for firewood. This is where Erik lived. This is where he raised his family. This is where he learned that violence isn't a choice when survival is the only law. Erik's father killed a man in Norway. Not for glory, not for honor, probably for food, for survival, and they ran. Father and son across the sea to Iceland, hoping for mercy, finding only more hunger. Erik grew up watching his father's shame, grew up knowing they were outsiders. Grew up understanding that in this world, you're either strong or you're dead. So when Erik's slaves accidentally destroyed a neighbor's property, and that neighbor killed those slaves as punishment, Erik didn't see injustice. He saw disrespect. He saw someone telling him he was weak, and weakness in Viking Iceland meant death. So Erik killed him, then killed another man. It's murders over an insult. 2 families destroyed because a young man couldn't control his rage. The court exiled him for 3 years. Leave or die. Simple. But Erik's rage was a disease. It ate him from inside. He lent valuable timber to a man named Thorgest. In a land with almost no trees, timber was gold. When Erik asked for it back, Thorgest refused. Just said no. Imagine that moment. You've already been exiled once. You're trying to rebuild, trying to be better. Someone steals from you and looks you in the eye and says, "What are you going to do about it?" Erik snapped. He stormed Thorgest's farm with weapons. They fought. And when it was over, Thorgest was dead. His sons were dead. Erik had slaughtered an entire family over pieces of wood. This time, there was no mercy. Complete exile from all of Iceland. Erik had 3 years to leave the island entirely or be hunted down and killed. He was in his 30s, had a wife who loved him despite everything, had children who needed him. He had absolutely nowhere to go. Norway had exiled his father. Iceland had just thrown him out. The entire known world had rejected him. He was a dead man who hadn't stopped breathing yet. But Erik remembered something. Old sailors, drunk and rambling, sometimes mentioned land to the west, far west, beyond where ships normally sailed. One man, decades ago, claimed he'd been blown off course and seen distant shores. Nobody believed him. Nobody cared. Why risk your life sailing towards something that probably didn't exist? But Erik wasn't risking his life. His life was already over. He was gambling with death. And when you have nothing to lose, madness starts looking like courage. Summer 982. Erik gathered men desperate enough or crazy enough to follow him. They loaded a single ship with supplies, and they sailed west, into the open Atlantic, to waters that had swallowed hundreds of ships and never given them back. For days, there was nothing but waves. Waves that could flip their ship like a toy. Wind that screamed like the world was ending. And Erik standing at the front, staring into the horizon, betting everything that the drunken rumors were true.